Hi guys, thank you so much for stopping by today. I just wanted to hop on here just to give you, just to answer a quick question in regards to, what's needed for your lease if you're looking to rent a property if you're looking to rent a property. So I'll just run by the list really quick. First things first that we'll need as a realtor, if you're looking to use a realtor to get a lease, is your government issued ID. This is just for identification purposes. We also need your letter of employment if you're an employed person. Letter of employment shows us, your letter of employment needs to show us your income, your annual income, how do you get paid, are you getting paid bi-weekly, monthly? We also need to know your pay, how much are you getting paid? When did you start working with the company that you're working with? All these information need to be, your role in the company needs to be on this letter of employment. Another thing that we look at is your credit score and your report. We need to always make sure, this is the most important thing that, landlords look at. One of the most important things, they're all very important, right? But they need to know that you're good with your finances. If you're defaulting on payments, it would reflect on your credit report, right? So ensure that, you're working on your credits. You working on your credit doesn't only have to be when you're looking to buy a property. This is also, applicable for when you're leasing, because they want to know that, the person they're renting to is not someone that usually defaults on their payments, that, doesn't care about their finances. They need to know that they'll be able to get their rent, at the right time, the speculated time, the specified time that, you said you're going to be paying your rent. They need to know all these things. So that's one thing to make sure that you're not slacking on. Another thing that we'll need from you is your study permit. If you're an international student, we also need a couple of information, which is your letter of acceptance for the school that you're attending, because that shows the landlord that you are legitimately in the country for studying, right? And then it also shows the duration, because then they see, okay, this person's going to be here for a year, 2 years, whatever the time is. If it's a 6 months program and then you're getting a 1-year lease, that's not going to make sense to the landlord. So they'll ask that question: what do you intend to do after you're done with your program in 6 months? Another thing that you need as an international student is your study permit. You need to provide that because it shows the landlord that you're legally allowed to be in the country and you're not just going to up and leave and return back to your country because, of one issue or the other. Especially if it's something that can be foreseen, right? If they see that your study permit expires in 6 months, but then you're getting a 1-year lease, they're gonna be curious. They're gonna ask questions. Why is it that you're trying to leave earlier? Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's that about that. If you're self-employed, we do need, your pay stubs if you have them. We need your credit report with the score. And we also need your ID. But another thing that we need for self-employed people is that we need your bank statements. So most recent bank statements could be 2 months, 3 months, that show the breakdown, that shows that you're actually receiving money from your business. We need to see that, because that's what the landlord will be able to see and know, okay, this is the amount that's coming in every month or every 2 weeks. Also, we need to see your letter of incorporation. If you're self-employed and you have your own business, that letter of incorporation shows the landlord and also the agents that you are a legitimate business, that you're actually allowed to run as a business, and there are no issues on that front. Another thing that you need to bear in mind is that you need to plan for you need to plan to have your first and last month's rent up front. The reason why I say this is because a lot of times some people might decide to get a place and then they don't even have the first and last month's rent ready as a deposit to be given to the landlord. You are to give your landlord minimum of, a first and your last month's rent. That is the deposit that you put down before getting a place. And then, make sure that you have that within 24 hours of the offer being accepted, because that's when you would have to submit it to the landlord. If we submit an offer for you as the agent, once the offer has been accepted, you have to present the deposit, which is the first and last month's rent, within 24 hours after that offer has been accepted. You have to present it to the listing brokerage. You have to submit it to the listing brokerage. So that's something for you to know and note, so that you have that ready when you start looking for a place. Another thing that you need to note is the tenant insurance. A lot of places the tenant insurance covers you as a tenant, because if there were anything that were to happen, you are covered on your front. You're covering your content. You're covering yourself from any liabilities, anything that might arise based off of the type of insurance that you're getting. So that's something to bear in mind as well, because some people don't factor that cost in when they're getting a place to lease. So take note. And then the last thing that I would say is, sometimes some landlords want you to put a key deposit for the place. So sometimes it can range between 300 more or less. It depends on what you're getting. If you're getting a condo that needs to get a garage opener, then they might factor that into the cost for the keys that they need to break and make another key for you and your family, or it could even be you and your roommate, or whatever the case might be. Just always factor that in, because you will have to pay it at some point, like right before the closing of the property, and the closing date is the date that you actually move in. So make sure that you factor that in, because a lot of people don't know about those costs as well, and then they're surprised when their agent tells them, after the fact, or even like during the process. Alright, so that's all that I have to say. If I missed out anything, I'll write it down in the comment section below, so that way, in the description box below, so that way you're able to refer back to it. If you have any questions, any concerns, if you're looking for a place to lease, if you're even looking to buy or to sell, I'm your girl. Don't forget to reach out to me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.